I was having y'all. It's your boy Rico from RicoScores, and I know you may not be able to hear it in my voice right now because it's almost gone, but I am extremely excited about this undrafted free agent signing. This was my favorite undrafted free agent available out there by far. The same way I felt about Armani Rogers as an undrafted free agent. He was my #1 guy going in, leaving the draft. I was willing to take him in the draft, just like this guy here. Just how I felt 2 years ago when we got Armani Rogers and I was telling y'all bet on those traits. That's exactly how I feel about this new alien that the Washington Commanders have signed as an undrafted free agent as well. We have signed safety Tyler Owens. Perfect 10 raw athletic score. Literally as athletic as you can possibly be mathematically, man. He has an all-pro ceiling. We're going to dive into everything. We also got to talk about the fact that he doesn't believe in space, apparently, but I don't care. It's ironic that he doesn't believe in space, and yet he's literally an alien himself. We're going to dive into all of that and more, but before we do, I literally mocked him to us like a week ago, so y'all don't understand how excited I am, but make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Make sure you stay tuned for all of the content. Again, I already told y'all, not only am I about to go back and do breakdowns and do individual videos for each player that we drafted, but if there are any notable undrafted free agents, especially one like this, I'm giving them their own individual video as well. And also anybody that I give an individual video for, also expect a film session at some point later on down the line leading to training camp as well. So make sure you stay tuned. I promise y'all. And also I'm doing a live show tomorrow, call-in show for y'all to call in and voice your opinions on how you felt about this draft. Don't forget the undrafted free agents. When you do that, I got to be strict with the 3-minute timer because I already know we're going to have a lot of people trying to call in. So make sure you pull up with your thoughts already organized and everything like that. I love the passion. Bring the energy. Bring the emotion. Whether you're mad, whether you're excited, I don't care. Bring whatever you want to bring, but just try to consolidate it into a 3-minute rant. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get to this video. I'm super excited. Let's get it. Adam. All right, so Ryan Fowler announced. Now, first of all, this has not been officially announced by the team. Just to let you know, just go ahead and throw that out there. This is not officially. Oh, we got my boy Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. Oh, we got a Georgia Bulldog. Yes. Okay, that's a whole nother video. Just saw that tweet pop up. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put that to the side. Go ahead and move that to the side real quick before we dip up out of here. Can't not talk about, man, I've been waiting for a Georgia Bulldog outside of Jake Fromm. Y'all don't understand, man. All we've had was Champ Bailey, traded him away. Then we had Bakari Rambo, bust. Then we brought in Thomas Davis when he was already 40 years old. And then there's Jake Fromm. And we also, I think, had Eli Wolf. Like, I'm so excited because I think Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint is actually a good fit for what we need. He is 6'2". He's a big contested catch receiver. We'll get there later, though. That just completely shocked me. That completely caught me off guard. Was not expected to see that notification. But let's go ahead and get to my boy. So the Washington Commanders, again, back to my main point. Until we see things officially announced by the Commanders themselves, it's hard to believe it. Ben Standig already let it be known. He already announced that we will not officially announce all of our undrafted free agents until Monday. Meanwhile, the Vikings have already announced 17 undrafted free agents officially. So I don't know what's going on right now between us, the difference between us and them right now. I am jealous, but hey, man, it's always when in doubt. And Adam Peters, I trust. I'm going to always give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's just cooking something up. Now, right now, the signing of Tyler Owens and Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. And then we got the running back from USC. I'm going to break that down. We got the quarterback, Sam Hartman from Notre Dame. We are killing the undrafted free. I know these are undrafted free agents. I know they went undrafted. But, like, to the standard of what undrafted free agents typically are, we are killing it right now. But we're going to get there soon. This video is focused on Tyler Owens. But I just wanted to make sure I let y'all know that until it's officially announced by the Commanders, It's hard to put too much 100% faith into this, but I do believe that I can trust these sources. So right now, Ryan Fowler tweeted out and reported the Commanders are signing Texas Tech defensive back Tyler Owens, source said, to a $225,000 guaranteed, $20,000 signing bonus deal. I mean, with the money and all of that stuff, the contract and everything, I'm just gonna assume this is a done deal. Can't wait for the Commanders to officially announce it themselves. Also, he tweeted, one of the most athletic prospects in the class, regardless of position, and I would go as far to say literally the most athletic player in this entire draft class. I'm gonna convince you. Don't even worry about it. If you don't believe me now, hear me now, believe me later. Let's get to it. So first of all, again, the reason I'm really excited is, first of all, y'all know I love my freak athletes. That's why I was such a big fan of Armani Rogers 2 years ago, and I still think he has a lot of potential in him. The Samus Reyes experiment didn't work out, but Jordan Mailata, I tried to let people know ahead of time before the whole Jordan Mailata thing happened with the Eagles. Now look at him. So you know I love my freak athletes. You know I love to bank on potential, because my whole logic is, what are we paying these coaches millions of dollars if you're going to keep drafting for floor? What is the point? That's why I absolutely hated what Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew were doing. That's probably the thing that made me the most upset with them, their tenure here for the 4 years they were here and everything. Because if you're drafting these guys that are already good and have relatively high floors but not much of a ceiling, they don't have the potential to become a Pro Bowler or All Pro. They're just solid. They're just filling a need for right now. What are you paying your coaches millions of dollars for if they can't develop a guy, take elite athletic traits and turn them into a great player? What are you paying these guys millions of dollars for if you're going to already basically hand them a finished product out of the draft? I hate that strategy. So I absolutely love what Adam Peters is doing here, going for the most athletic draft class in all of the NFL in 2024. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna break that down in another video. I'm gonna do like a whole review of how athletic our draft class is, compare everybody's RASs, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and throw in there how a lot of different experts feel about our draft class in general, like all the A grades we're getting, how we're the winners of the draft, and then we're gonna do that in a whole separate video. But I just wanted to bring that up so it can go along with my logic. So right now, again, finally a player that I mocked to us to get outside of Jamin Davis, of course, and Ben Sinnott. Ben Sinnott had a good feeling on that. Even though he wasn't in my most recent predictive mock draft where it was like my final draft, I did believe we would end up with Ben Sinnott and Jayden Daniels. But Tyler Owens is my guy. Don't let nobody else tell you Tyler Owens is not anybody's guy more than mine. I think I even picked him a couple of times when I was with my boy ProTech and we did like a live stream mock draft on his channel, like a week or two before the draft or whenever that was. And I'm telling you, that's my dude over there, man. Tyler Owens, stop playing with my dog. Please stop playing with my dog. I'm telling you, we're about to dive into it. He is the guy that, let me just go ahead and warn you, you're probably going to see these headlines at some point. If he ends up being good enough to where he actually matters and reaches the actual news cycle and get on a reporter's radar, just to let you know, he is the guy at the combine that said he doesn't believe in space, whatever that means. But again, that's very ironic because he's literally an alien and doesn't believe in space. It's absolutely insane, man. I'm assuming he came here on a meteor and maybe he's just trying to cover it up. Like, no, there is no such thing as space, humans. I mean, my fellow people, you know what I'm saying, don't believe in space, even though he came from space or something like that. You know, I got a cartoon imagination. Also, it's also ironic that even though Math Bomb himself said that the Commanders had the most athletic draft out of the entire NFL, the guy that would arguably be the most athletic out of this most athletic draft class in the NFL didn't even get to do all of his testing. He's not even included in our calculations of having the most athletic draft class. First of all, because he went and drafted as well. And then also he tweaked his hamstring while testing at the combine, so he didn't even get to do everything. But I'm willing to bet money that if he did, he would have been a perfect 10 out of 10. Even with all of the freak athletes that were drafted, this is the only guy that's in the same stratosphere as athletic freak as Jeremy Chin. Like, him and Jeremy Chin are the most athletic players on our team. It's like him, Jeremy Chin, Samuel Cosby. You can maybe throw Brandon Coleman in there. We're talking about a different level of athletes. Yeah, Deron Payne's a freak athlete. Yeah, Terry McLaurin is very athletic. There's different tiers, y'all. And Jeremy Chin and Tyler Owens are in their own tier. Maybe, again, Samuel Cosby and Brandon Coleman are the only guys even close to that tier with just perfect 10 raw athletic scores, man. But based on what he did do And then you also throw in some more calculations of what he was projected to do based off of what people took from his tape, and also how he tested while he was in college instead of like the actual real combine. He ended up with a perfect 10 raw athletic score. His size grade, elite, at 6'2", 216 pounds. That's elite size for a safety. That's ideal size that you do not get often. And then on top of all of that, the speed is ridiculous. He's projected to run in the 4.3s as a 40 time, 4.35 with a 1.15 yard split. Now, he actually did get to do his explosion grade. He got to do his vertical, which was a 41 inch. Absolutely insane. Probably would have, I think that may have been the best vertical out of all safeties at the draft. If it wasn't, it was definitely really close to it. At least tied for first, at worst second, but I believe it was the best one. And then his broad jump of 12 feet and 2 inches, I believe, is the best broad jump in safety combine history. That's why it has a perfect 10 there. And then agility as well. Great in all of those. The shuttle was excellent. The 3-cone was exceptional as well. I'm telling you, they don't make this good. This is a generational freak athlete. I'm not saying he's a generational football player. We're going to get there as to why he even went undrafted, but I'm letting you know now, when we're talking about athletic freaks, this guy only comes once every few years, and I'm not even sure if there is another Tyler Owens in the NFL right now. Again, the closest thing you can probably get is Jeremy Chin, who's also on our team. So we're about to have the most athletic safety or even just defensive back group you've probably ever seen. So going back to my mock draft, I mocked us to get him round 7, 222nd overall with our last pick. And even in that mock draft, I said, and I've already mocked him to the Commanders in one of my other mock drafts, but I had to do it again. So I've mocked him several times to the Commanders. You can go check the stamps and the receipts. Just go back a couple of weeks, a couple of months. This has been my guy for a while. So first of all, I love his potential, obviously. Second, the Commanders met with him at the East-West Shrine Bowl, the NFL Combine, and they went to Texas Tech's Pro Day, according to my guys Scott Jennings and Ken Johannesson over there at Hogs Haven. And I'm assuming they probably went there for him and maybe even the punter that they seem to be really interested in. So those are the two guys they probably went for, but more than likely Tyler Owens more than anything else. And that just also shows the confidence that Adam Peters and these guys have in the coaching staff to develop elite talent, even just by the way that we drafted, but also by signing a guy like this that is this raw, but just has such a ridiculously high ceiling, absolute alien freak, rare specimen, apex athlete type of guy. He trusts that Dan Quinn, Joe Wood Jr. and his defensive staff can somehow get greatness and consistency out of him. But there at least seems to be at least a little bit of interest from the Commanders. And now that's what I said in my mock draft. We can confirm it by the fact that we signed him as an undrafted free agent. And again, I'm booted up over this, man. I'm telling you, this is my favorite signing. This, even if we took him in the 7th round, he probably would have been my favorite draft pick. So, hey, man, I'm not gonna lie, Tyler Owens may be easily one of my 3 favorite players we came out of this draft with, even though he's an undrafted free agent. Also, I said in my mock draft, the 7th round is perfect. Is a perfect round to take him, to take chances, especially on a super duper boomer bust guy. And just to remind you, he is the guy that says he doesn't believe in space, whatever that might mean. So let's just go ahead and keep acknowledging that so we can move on. Also, athletic freak at 6'2", 216 pounds. He's a 95th percentile wingspan as well. I told you what he did as far as his broad jump, his vertical and stuff like that. He's also 95th percentile in wingspan when he enters the NFL with 79 and 6/8 inch arms. I'm telling you, bro, it's absolutely ridiculous. And he was projected to run in the 4.3s, but he did tweak his hamstring, so it is what it is. He said himself his goal was to run a 4.2 something, to run sub 4.3, somewhere in the 4.2s. But then again, this is the same guy that said that he doesn't believe in aliens, so I don't know if I really believe that he could have ran a 4.2. But then again, as much of a freak athlete that he is, he could have. You never know. And honestly, if he could have done that, he would have been the MVP of the combine by far. It wouldn't even been close. Come on, dog. It wouldn't have even been close. But of course, again, he's raw in a lot of areas, but we got Dan Quinn, Joe Wood Jr., and Jason Simmons for that. And if any coaching staff can get him right, I believe it's this one. And it's just amazing how far off the radar he's gone from being a 5-star prospect coming out of school. I didn't forget, me personally. That's another layer to this situation, that why I'm really interested in him, because I've been keeping track of him since he was a 5-star prospect according to 247 Sports. Most other places had him like a 4-star, somewhere like in the top 150, but 247 had him as a 5-star. I was hoping my Georgia Bulldogs would get him a while back in that 2019 recruiting cycle. And I've always just been thinking about, like, where did he end up? And so then when I started doing mock drafts a couple of months ago, I was like, oh, that is Tyler Owens. That's him. That freak athlete coming out of high school. That's my guy. So that's another layer to this situation as to why I love him. And that's also why one of the main reasons I love recruiting, man. I watch a lot of guys go from high school, even some guys late middle school, to college, to the NFL. I love this process, man. I live and breathe this process. This is literally me watching guys go from high school to college to the NFL. That's my favorite part of all of football. This stuff. This is when I literally make my money. That's why I have this on my shirt right now, man. Because this is what this is literally what I love to do. This is my favorite part. I actually enjoy this more than actually watching games on Sunday. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. And I am already up on that's how I'm typically up on a lot of late round sleepers just in general, because a lot of these guys were very talented coming out of high school. I kept track of them throughout college, and for one reason or another, maybe their college didn't develop them the right way. Maybe they didn't give them the right resources or facilities to develop them, or maybe the guy just didn't have the right work ethic. Maybe he didn't put enough time into the film study and taking extra time out of his day beyond what the coaches require of him to get better mentally and things like that. So you just never know. And now they have the potential, these guys that are really talented coming out of high school but just never found that talent in college. If they end up on the right team in the NFL, that 5-star talent may be able to get brought up out of them at the NFL level, and then that's how you end up with a ridiculous still at the NFL level where guys are like, he was an undrafted free agent. How did the Commanders know? Well, if you really pay attention to recruiting going all the way back to like 2019, you would know that this was one of the best high school players in the country. Like literally, according to 247 Sports, like one of the 30 best players out of the entire country coming out of high school at the time. And like, I think he was literally like the number 2 and number 3 safety coming out. So you shouldn't really be that surprised. That's why I really love this whole part of the game and everything. So I'm telling you, man, I'm hoping that now that we have them, we can develop them. I really think we can. Dane Brugler gave his own assessment of him. He said Owens boasts first-round physical traits in his length and explosive speed. Completely agree. He is a first-round talent through and through, easily just based off of athleticism alone. But his key and diagnose skills have yet to mature and could make him a liability on an NFL field. A move to linebacker might be in his future, and his impact on special teams could be saving grace to make an NFL roster. That's really interesting. So Dane Brugler saying maybe you want to move him to linebacker. NFL Draft Buzz gives his strengths and weaknesses. We can start with the weaknesses real quick. They say occasional mental errors and lack of positional awareness due to inexperience. And I feel like weaknesses makes the most sense to start with, because you're hearing this extreme freak athlete. You're like, how did he go undrafted if he has first round natural talent? Let's start with the weaknesses to kind of explain why. Limited starting experience with only 12 career starts under 1,000 defensive snaps raises concerns about his readiness and adaptability. I mean, with him being that much of a freak athlete, why did Texas Tech, who's not a great team at all anyway, why was he not starting more? Why was he not playing more on a team that's already devoid of talent anyway? How are you that athletic and you're not getting playing time? You're not getting PT on Texas Tech. That's the problem. Shows a tendency to misread and react slowly to deep passing threats, indicating a need for enhanced play recognition and strategic adjustments in coverage schemes. Takes steep angles to the ball carrier, indicating the need for improvement in spatial awareness and pursuit paths to enhance tackling efficiency and reduce yak yardage. Now strengths: super athletic safety, showcased by 42-inch vert at the combine. Does a very good job of reading the eyes of the quarterback and reacting with good field awareness and ball skills. Good instincts and anticipation reads and reacts with discipline. Dangerous with the ball in his hands. Of course, he's the most athletic player in this whole draft regardless of position. Has the physical gifts to match any cornerback in this class, equally able to lock up receivers in man or zone if we can get that out of him. Consistency and mentality wise, IQ wise, awareness and all of that. Nuance. We got to get him nuance. Willing and run support coming downhill quickly when Owens has a chance to make a play. So he's willing. He's not afraid. Not a major liability in man coverage. Good enough foot speed and length to stay with slot receivers and 4 wide sets on short patterns. So right now he's completely relying on his athleticism and his ability to cover right now. But the IQ and awareness part of it, the nuance part of it, instinctual part of it, is missing. That's where he's lacking. Has very good length and a fluid mover in the middle of the field. Owens plays with a linebacker's mentality, attacking downfield and delivering violent hits on the ball carries. This guy is scary. I mean, dare I say he has some Sean Taylor potential to him. Dare I say, I know saying that name is going to have a lot of people cussing me out in the comment section, but this is the type of athletic freak we're talking about. Has a tall frame and long arms plus strong hands, giving him a huge catch radius. So this is a guy that can get turnover over turnover. This is the guy when he steps on the field, you're like, who is that? What is that? Why is he that tall, long, and fast, explosive, quick? Who made this in a lab and then is just trying to sneak him and pass him as an actual human and cheating in the NFL right now? So even though his instincts right now are terrible, which is literally the only reason he went undrafted, maybe this is the free safety that we're literally looking for. He's the ultimate boom or bust player. With his athletic traits, he's either going to literally be like Ed Reed or completely unplayable. I literally think that there's no middle here. And again, we need a free safety. I'm gonna do this whole breakdown when I'm breaking down the Dominique pick that we made round 5, 161st overall, because we got him. He's more of a strong safety. So in my breakdown of his that I already have all my notes ready for, I just got to record it and put it out there, edit it, put it out there like all of the other players that we've already drafted. I already have breakdowns for everybody, but it's all about time. But I'm getting there. Just stay patient. But my point is that we do need a free safety right now. Are we relying on Percy Butler or Derek Forrest? Because Quan Martin, I think, is going to be more so of like a strong safety. Jeremy Chin is a hybrid linebacker type of guy. My boy Mike Sanders still is a pure slot corner. Everybody that we have right now is basically some type of strong safety, slot corner, star position, hybrid linebacker. Well, I'm pretty sure most of y'all know it as like a Buffalo nickel. I call it the star. That's what Georgia has called it pretty much my whole life of knowing football. So forgive me if I always keep calling it star, but I feel like most people know it as Buffalo nickel at the NFL level, especially Commanders wise. But I mean, we literally need a free safety. Are we relying on Percy Butler or Derek Forrest? This is your developmental free safety right here. Again, he's literally, there's no middle. Ed Reed or flat out terrible, unplayable, can't even throw him on the field outside of special teams. Because if he can get it right mentally, what's stopping him from being the best safety in the NFL traits-wise and body-wise, athleticism-wise? Like literally, what is it? But again, as of today, his instincts are so bad that even as arguably the biggest athletic freak out of the hundreds of draft eligible players to come out just now in these past few days, he still went undrafted for a reason. That should tell you everything you need to know about how raw he is. He may not even see the field on defense until 2 years from now. But who knows, honestly? If there's any coaching staff that I believe can get greatness out of him, it's this one. With Dan Quinn and Joe Wood Jr., who are arguably the most creative defensive minds in the sport. There's a reason they led the NFL in takeaways these past 3 years. And then we also have Jason Simmons, who's a proven defensive back developer and ceiling reacher. He's literally a defensive back whisperer. And so Tyler may be stuck on special teams for a couple of years until then, but if there's any coaching staff that can get it out of him, it's probably this one. I'm not betting on it. I feel like he's even more raw than Armani Rogers was coming out as a tight end. I feel like his floor is even lower than Armani Rogers is, but you can argue his ceiling is even higher. He's literally the definition of boom or bust. You don't get any wider of a gap than ceiling to floor with a guy like this. Again, he's either Ed Reed or he's unplayable. I can't even possibly imagine a middle right now with the athleticism he has. So I feel like everybody in the Commanders fan base, except for me, may even forget about his existence by the time he's actually playable by 2026. People are probably going to be like, yo, who is this? When do we get this guy? And I'm gonna be right there waiting and telling y'all the entire ride there. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please still follow on that like button, still follow on the subscription button, still follow on the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. I'm gonna do my best to stop talking as much so I can get my voice back and before all of this start hurting and everything like that. But man, I don't think y'all understand how excited I am. I stopped doing I was in the middle of breaking down a player and saw this notification and had to stop everything I was doing to talk about him. Almost like how I was about to do with my dog Marcus Rosemi-Jack Saint, my wide receiver from Georgia. Matter of fact, y'all think I'm playing about Georgia? Y'all think I'm playing about Marcus Rosemi-Jack Saint? I'm not playing about Marcus Rosemi-Jack Saint. But man, I saw this notification about Tyler Owens and almost cried, man. I'm so excited, man. This is my dog, man. I'm so please do not cut him. Please find a spot on the roster. I'm even afraid of putting him on the practice squad, but he may be unplayable. I hope he goes out there and at the very least is so great on special teams. He has to make the 53-man roster off rip. I don't care who we got to get rid of. I don't care who's in the way on the roster. You find a way to sneak this guy onto the roster. He's too much of a freak athlete to potentially lose him. I don't think y'all understand. This is my guy right here. I can't wait. So make sure you stay tuned. I'm going to keep y'all updated on all of the undrafted free agents that we're bringing in. I'm also, I have all of my notes, all of my film notes, weaknesses, strengths, traits, potential comps. I have a bunch of advanced stats for every player we drafted so far. They're ready, individual windows and everything, but I just got to find the time to do it. And I was literally working on one of them. This signing happened. It set everything further back. So I'm going to get there. I promise you, I'm working on these breakdowns. They're on the way. I'm still going to have to find some time to do a call-in live show tomorrow. We'll see. I'll keep y'all updated on there. So really appreciate y'all. Make sure you do not leave this video without leaving a like. And of course, let me know how you feel about this player. Are you as high on him as me, or do you think I'm tripping? Let me know all of that in the comment section. I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all later. I'm out.